on that. Right, let's move on. Question number 5. It's coming here from James. Thank you, James, for this question. It's quite a long one, so let me read it to you guys. James says, we sold our home to a developer via an estate agent, subject to the builder getting planning permission to develop the property. It was on the market for nearly 11 months. Planning permission was granted. An exchange of contracts took place with completion due at the end of August. After exchange, it came to light that there was a covenant in the deeds of the property restricting development of the site, which for extra costs, the covenant could be, as the builder said, they were waiting for the covenant to be lifted. We feel we've been had. It turns out builder is our estate agent's boyfriend. The solicitor we used was recommended by the agent too. Can we take any action against them as they failed to complete? Is it legal for the agents to do deals for the benefits of friends and family? The developers are delaying. I still want to buy, but we know in 12 months our property has drastically increased in value. Should we pull out and find another buyer, or should we hold out given the economy and potentially the property may significantly reduce, possibly even below our agreed price, plus it may take another 12 months to find a buyer? Okay, all right, that's a really in-depth question there, James, and thank you for sending that through. There's quite a lot of angles to go at that. Excuse me a second. Okay. Right, let's put these emotions to one side, shall we, James? Right, let's get on with this one. I think here's how I'm going to approach this, James. I don't know all the terms of the deal, obviously, but it seems to me there's a couple of points that need to be addressed. And first and foremost, for me, the estate agent should have disclosed a personal connection with the developer or builder. That should have been disclosed up front. It should have been made abundantly clear from day one. And it sounds to me as though it wasn't, which is not good. So that needs to be brought to light. However, that is dealt with, I'm not quite sure. But you would need to certainly have that conversation with the estate agent and say what on earth's going on here, because this is a significant conflict of interests. And as I say, it should and ought to have been disclosed right up front. Okay, but secondly, now what you're saying here, and I want to be careful on the wording to make sure I've understood what you're saying here, but it sounds as though the solicitors acting for the developer haven't been thorough enough if the issue has come to light after exchange. And the bit I want to clarify with you is whether we're actually talking about a legal exchange of contracts or whether or not you've agreed an option. Okay, and that could be the case in this scenario where the builder's taken an option on your property, okay, and that may be for a period of 12 months, and then it's come out after they've started doing the legal work to get ready to exchange, that actually there is this covenant that's in place that then needs to be rectified. Okay, now that's the first bit I'd like to clarify, whether it is or not that you've got an exchange of contracts or whether it's an option agreement that's been agreed. The second point is you said that there is a possibility that this covenant can be lifted, and that depends on the lawyers to do their bit to dig in a little bit deeper and find out exactly what's gone on and what are the terms of that covenant, how long has it got left on it, is it due to expire in 12 months' time, which is why they want to hang on, or is there some other mechanism that's in place that they feel that they can actually get it lifted? Because it sounds to me as though they'll be paying a penalty if they do redevelop the site and then cash out as a result of the way that you've structured the deal. Yeah, and this is what leads me to suspect it might be an option that you've suggested here, James, because you sold the home to a developer subject to the builder getting planning permission to develop the property. Now, has the planning permission gone through? That's the first question, because it may be that in 12 months' time, if they then apply for planning, then there's the uplift in the value, and that's when they might get hammered by those covenants, or they might not if they wait long enough. So there's a couple of things I'd like to clarify there. But look, if you've exchanged contracts, it's a legally binding exchange of contracts, okay? And all of the other stuff that I've said about the maybes and the what-whos get put to one side, then they are legally bound to complete the deal. And again, it depends what terms you've agreed in the contract as to how they're actually going to complete the deal, but they should be legally bound to complete it. And that would be something that I would be approaching my solicitor who acted, well, the solicitor that acted for you, obviously, and say, you know, what's going on here? They haven't completed. We've exchanged contracts, and you know, I want to go after them. In effect, so you would look at keeping their deposit. You'd look at serving them notice to complete, and say, you know, you've got to complete by this deadline, and after which you're going to start racking up some penalties, which would be the way to go about it. If the developer wants you to wait for 12 months because of that will help with the terms and conditions of the covenant, then they should make it financially worth your while to do so. You know, and so these are the sorts of things that it's difficult to answer, James, because I don't have the paperwork in front of me. And I've not been able to look at the terms that you've agreed to, but it does sound to me as though there was a couple of things that haven't been completely transparent in the way that this whole thing's been set up. And I would be certainly asking some very uncomfortable questions to all parties involved as to why this hasn't been disclosed and why this hasn't been brought to everybody's attention right from day one. So hope that helps, James. As I say, more than happy to get involved and do a bit of troubleshooting on that deal for you. It's one of the things that I love doing. I love getting involved with this. I actually had one guy, this is many, many years ago, he'd got involved with a site, which was a commercial site actually, and he'd sold this piece of land. And I think he'd done some kind of joint venture, and the builder had thrown the building up, or the frame of the building up. And then there'd been a big falling out about it, and they'd actually walked away from the deal. And he was like, what should I do? It's, you know, nothing's happened on it in 3 years. And I just said, you know what, actually look at this one thing. And when we started to explore it, I think the property values had moved on quite a bit. And actually there was a more financial incentive to get the building completed and get it sold, and then divvy up the profits and wipe out any of the financial mistakes, rather than actually going down the legal route and, you know, bashing everybody through the legal channels where, you know, only the lawyers would win in court effectively. So I think that was a great sort of thing that I got involved with. And I saw the guy about 3 months later, and he's like, do you know what? It's actually worked to treat developers on board. They're finishing the build. We're going to get it sold, and, you know, everybody's going to be happy. So there's different ways to approach this, James. And as I said, I'd be more than happy to troubleshoot that with you in a bit more detail, should you want to later on. So anything else that you need in terms of any questions answered, or any kind of support that you need with any property deals that you've got going on, or anything like that, please do reach out. Please get in contact with us. Happy to help at WiggyWam.co.uk, with a Twitter handle as well, which is at WiggyWam _UK. And we'd love to have those questions come in. You can also go to our WiggyWam website, which is wiggywam.co.uk, and you can set yourself up a free profile in there. You can have a roam around. You can get access to our learning center, where we share a lot of invaluable information in there for you, which I'm really excited about. So yeah, we're trying our best to give as much knowledge, education, resources as we possibly can to people to really help them on their journey, because I know what it can be like. It can be a nightmare trying to buy a property or sell a property or all the rest of it. And we just want to help and support as many people as possible. We also want to align ourselves with those estate agents and those solicitors that are delivering excellence to their clients on a daily basis. Okay. And we've got some really cool things lined up to help them as much as possible, to help them get more clients and to help them make a more profitable service available to their clients as well. So lots going on behind the scenes, guys. Really excited about it. Thank you again for joining me today, and look forward to seeing you again on another webinar. Any more help and support that you need, then please reach out and let me know. All right, guys, amazing webinar. Thank you so much indeed for your time, and I will look forward to seeing you very soon. Take care.